Hi all, this is Rex King here. Today I thought we'd talk about what is life really about, and in answering the question, what drives life? But the name of this slide, though, is I've given it the name In Search of Perfection, because really that's what it's all about. I mean, if you're a religious person, you're wanting to be someone acceptable to God. So you're in search of perfection, what he's looking for in you so that you will be acceptable. Or any tradition of any value, you wanting to bring out the best, the quality in you. You're in search of perfection. So this slide is going to help a person see the process of searching for perfection, which is really what drives, that's really what drives life, is the search of perfection. That's why I've named it that. So what drives life? We're all in search of perfection, okay? In reality, the search of perfection is the desire for quality. Because when you're wanting perfection in your life, you're wanting the best in your life, you're wanting the quality. You're wanting something that you can look at and say, yeah, I want to keep this. Like a beautiful flower, a hatched chicken that you can raise and get eggs and flesh from one day. You feel connected. You know, you're part of a functioning whole, something. Okay. When you have this quality, and so when we're born, we're just an egg. We're a child. We're ignorant. We're in this turbulent mind, unorganized. The only way we can convey information, and when we're an infant, is cry, as turbulent as you can be. And whoever comes to assist us has to figure out what we need. And we're alone, you know, we're like mud, the egg, you know. And then what we have to do in our life to grow, to become, in our search for perfection, starting from quantity, an ignorant child, of infinite ignorant child, and in the infinity of existence. And what we want to do is go from this ignorant child alone. We want to become something. We want to develop quality in our life, a search for perfection in our life. You know, that's what we're looking for. That's our desire forward. And some find that in the context of this higher quality, we're searching for God, that God is the best, perfection, whatever our ideal of perfection is. And that's why people can get off track, because if people think something is quality and it's not, then so they're going to be going all they can to get it, but it's not quality, even though they think it is. So a person, I guess I'm coming down to the point inside of this. What is this triangle doing then? So what we see is quantity is unlimited. Now let's think of it from the viewpoint that God has the ability to have infinite amount of children, okay? Infinite quantity, children. But all these children are ignorant because they have to grow up, okay? And so it's comparable to the egg, the mud, being alone, isolated, because you're ignorant. And so this infinite quantity, so assume this is infinity out, can be narrowed down with merit to eliminate needless religion, endless needless religion, unnecessary things, fear of a devil, such, you know, in other ignorances. You eliminate them over time and space in our lifetime through merit. We evaluate them closely and determine whether they have merit or not. And we isolate just the merit and we keep the merit, so that we go from infinite quality to infinite, till we become part of the infinite quality. And so what I'm trying to say is this, in coming back, what drives life? In search of perfection. Why do we have to search for perfection? Why aren't we perfect already? Because perfection is quality, and quality has to be developed. Quantity comes automatic in our world from the viewpoint of there's an unlimited amount of time forward. In other words, we have to think of this, of the reality of life as a machine in operation, the operation of machine, like our bodies are a living organism, or life overall is a living organism, okay? And that living organism overall is actually looking for merit, looking for perfection, and it's looking for perfection in every one of the individual children that it creates, looking for them to be the best they can be. Because really what's in this box right here is every child, every soul that ever existed in the human mind, in the creation of humanity. That's what's in this box right here. And depending on the quantity or quality of us as an individual will depend on where we are in this box. If we still believe in a lot of ignorant things, our quality isn't very good, and so we're down here with the quantity, in the mass and the quantity. That's where we're at. If we still have all these unnecessary things in our mind, in our existence, we're basically weighed down to stay down at the bottom of the triangle, because how do you get infinite quality? How do you get up here? It's through merit. So you have to work your way up through merit. And what is merit? Merit is eliminating unnecessary things from our beliefs in life, so that we're in full harmony with quality. In other words, we have to get rid of our unorganized, turbulent beliefs that are not really correct. They appear to be correct, like the fear of the devil being out there causing whatever, but that's not correct at all. Really, it's just you reap what you sow. So once you get that thinking cleared up, you go more from child to adult. Now, so really we're talking about in a spiritual way, okay, mankind, each individual person in mankind is somewhere on this scale from their life cycle, and then, when they die, they're still at some point. And then, but the point is that each one of us as individuals would like to, theoretically, like to be able to rise to the top and be able to be up here at the very peak, where basically, if all thought and all existence is from thought, and we get our thought completely organized and wise like a parent, then when we get into this little box like this, we become a Christ-like person in our field, whatever our field is. In other words, we become an expert. We go from quantity to a quality in some field, where we're the best carpenter, the best plumber, the best lawyer, the best mother, the best father, the best, football player, or whatever, everything. But it's through merit, it's through merit and eliminating the unnecessary things, and getting on with life, getting a ladder that says this ladder is going to lead to something I'm looking forward to, and figure out what each rung on that ladder means, and what's the proper order to obtain them in, to overcome them in, and then take those steps until you get to the top, And that's really what this is saying. In search of perfection is in search of us being the best we can be as an individual. So the bottom line is this. In search of perfection, should we be concerned, overly concerned about our relationship with the Almighty, regardless of what name we give Him? Should we be in fear of our life? Okay, should we be fear of our life? Well, what drives life? Okay, what drives life is being the best we can be. So if you're making a sincere effort to be the best you can be as an individual person, then you got it. Just keep on that track. Keep doing your best. Through merit, eliminate things that you realize are unnecessary, that are hurtful. But don't get me wrong. Flowers are important. We need beauty in our life. In other words, not having a wife, not having children, those are necessary things. And so If you think, oh, I can eliminate a wife from my life, or I can eliminate having children in my life, or I can eliminate, this and that, learning how to play the guitar, or learning how to do this, or some other. No, this is about quality of life. What do you want to be in life? Do you want to be the best whatever? Then go for that. Why? Because you're going to be eliminating other options. In other words, if you decide I want to be the best guitarist in the world, then focusing on being the best pianist isn't going to get it. So that's eliminated in your case. So think this through, and you begin to realize that this works for the whole, for all mankind together. This is what's happening. In other words, there's a few people at the top right now that's really running the show. There's a few people just below that think they're running the show, but they're not really, because they still have some of these ignorances in them, and it's keeping them down here, although they think they're up here. And what's happening is, because they're here blocking the way, other people are having trouble getting up because they're saying this is the way and it's not. You eliminate the devil if you want to get here. Now, if you want to keep him in your life, now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying not a healthy understanding of the devil like I have in a video in this series. How to accept the devil is like an ignorant option or a positive. In other words, a devil or a stupid option, which you have to evaluate. You have to look at it and say, how do you know it's stupid unless you look at it and understand it, In the same way with the wise option, how do you know it's wise unless you've really evaluated it properly? And that's what this is about, is we have to consciously, as an individual, through merit, determine whether something is quality or not. For instance, say the religion that we were born in, okay? For instance, I was born a Catholic, and at some point my mother in particular, decided that wasn't the right way anywhere, and then she became one of Jehovah's Witnesses. She was the apostates of yesteryear became Jehovah's Witnesses today, because they used to be Catholics, but now an apostate is someone who is a rebel or a runaway slave, I understand. And so the old runaway slaves became Jehovah's Witnesses, and then they decided what merit was. But what happened is they didn't really understand things as well as they thought they did, even though they became apostates from what they believed before. My mother thought that she was leaving, the bad and going to the good, but she didn't realize that these men in charge really didn't understand things as well as they thought they did. They had a few things right, and it attracted her, but unfortunately, they still believed some things that wasn't helpful, okay? And so what's happened is you can get trapped in some of this stuff because a religion that with some men in charge that have power can be blocking, because they're thinking something has merit and it doesn't. It's ignorant because they haven't really taken the time to go through this process or even understand this process properly. They're caught up on some kind of thing about making sure that everybody is as moral as they can, and morality is the most thing. So, in other words, from a moral viewpoint, they lock everybody in, because if you don't have the moral right, you can't do nothing else. And so they completely keep you locked into needless religion and unnecessarily worrying about you might have did something that you wish you hadn't done, and now you doomed forever because God's mad at you stuff. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Person lives on merit, to get the quality. That's perfection. So everyone out there, whoever you are, but especially if you've been taught to fear God, that the devil's going to get you and your everlasting life is at risk, forget that. What drives life is us being the best we can be. And so if you, whoever you are, regardless of who you are right now in this world, if you're making a sincere effort to be the best you can be, trying to love yourself and love others. People that love themselves don't hurt other people. They don't. They do their best to make sure that their relations with other people are such that all is good. Just like if you were treating your own body, taking care of it, bathing it, cleaning it, feeding it, you should feel the same way about others. And as long as you're doing that or working toward that, you're good to go. because that's what drives life, and that's what that brings you closer to perfection, quality, perfection, and that's good. And exactly the pace that you go at, how fast you go, this is up to you, okay? So if you want to stay stuck behind a religion that believes in the devil, you're welcome to. But if you want to grow, listen to all these videos I've done and come to an understanding of what are some ignorant things that you can eliminate from your life so that you can focus on merit, things that are really important, so that you can really get where you want to go. All these other things have helped you in different ways, okay? But there's such a thing of being in the right place, but facing in the wrong direction. In other words, you could be on a line, and as long as you're on the line, you're on the right place. But if this line goes this way, and I'm facing this way, but I'm supposed to be facing that way, being on the line isn't going to help me at all. In fact, I'm doing the absolute opposite of what the line says do. Well, if God says face that way and you're facing this way, if God's saying get rid of the devil from your life and you refuse to do it, you're diametrically opposed to God, and you don't even realize it because you think you're in the right place. Because I'm in the right place because I'm as moral as can be. I'm doing the best I possibly can from my viewpoint to be a good person. But you're doing it looking the other way. To be a good person means don't judge anybody, not judge everybody. You're doing it just the opposite if you're doing that. You know, you need to turn around and realize that, you know, every child is God's child. Don't judge any of them. Understand where they're at in their development from being quantity to quality. Complete ignorant child. Because you can be 70 years old and have been the president of the United States and still be the most ignorant person in the whole world. You know, just because you think it is so. Just because you think there's a devil, it ain't so, I assure you. Just because you think you declassified something, it's so. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to actually be able to prove and see evidence that this is a rational thing, and it's just not. If you consider life that God is one and all things are part of God, you're saying that God on purpose is constantly beating himself in some way or form and hurting himself and keeping himself from being perfect. I mean, that's the only way that a devil would be necessary. Other than that, you would get rid of any unnecessary foolishness and focus on quality. Well, I've proved by these videos, and not just the videos in this particular on this particular channel, but I've got videos in this particular series under this title. But some other videos that are, you know, audibles and other channels and so forth, and books that I've narrated that all help a person to understand what quality is. And nowhere ever does it become necessary to insert a devil to have quality. Never. And that's why I've so thoroughly debunked this theory to where any religion or any society or anybody of any merit whatsoever, or claims to have any merit whatsoever, believes in a devil from this point on. You know, just understanding this one image right here clearly just debunks any necessity for a devil. And then when you look at all the other audios and so forth that I've done, you know, from different viewpoints, proving that it's just unnecessary to insert a devil in order to have merit and have a quality in a relationship with the all, with God. You know, it's just, in fact, it's a hindrance. And anybody that's selling that is trying to sell you something so that you can pay a toll you don't have to pay in life. And that toll is pretty heavy if it makes you carry guilt unnecessarily. I'm approaching 20 minutes, and so I'd like to go ahead and shut this down. Hopefully everyone has come to understand this image clearly, its importance in understanding you as an individual, your family, other people, so that you don't have to be judgmental or anything. You just realize we're all on this path, and the everlasting oneness is in control, and his purposes are being fulfilled. And if you look at these videos that I've put together, like I just did one about what really happened in the Garden of Eden, when you look at this in context with that one, if you haven't watched it yet, please watch it now. And you'll understand how it all fits together very easily when you recognize that we're God's children and he's trying to do his best to help us to grow up and be the best we can be, using our own free will and making the earth mankind's place, the collective's place, that we can all work together in harmony and be in peace. And as we know this as individuals, it gets stronger and stronger, and it happens more and more in the world. So expect it in your life, expect the best, work for the best, whatever you trade. And if we all do that and do our best not to hurt anybody else, and be willing to die if necessary, because, that's quality, that's perfection. Die if necessary to say, I'm not going to do a bad thing to somebody else, even if someone else tells me to. I'm just not. I'm not going to, if I feel like somebody needs some discipline or whatever, I'm going to do it in a way where it's not going to hurt them in a physical way, where they'll be able to survive it and think through it and learn from it or not. But, like what I did in these videos, hopefully I haven't done anything that anybody would find offensive or unloving, once they really understand the value and the need for them and the abruptness because of the clear and present danger that the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, with its governing body, and organizations like that are on purpose perpetrating hate in the world, getting people to pray and manifest wickedness, wanting to hurt other people to die because of religious beliefs and things like that. It's really, really painful, and the earth is suffering because of it. And this is why. And you reap what you sow. And so if people are saying things are merit and it's not, and you're fighting for that, you're saying bad things are quality, and you're searching for things. See the confusion of mankind today. Let me close this down. We're at 22 minutes. Peace and security earthwide, if everybody takes the time to understand these things and as I've explained them, or as have others with the same spirit. Love you all, and